it's going to take some time. You don't turn around an aircraft carrier on a dime. Starbucks is a behemoth of a company. So I think the market gives him some time. He's got a phenomenal track record, right? What he's done at Taco Bell and then Chipotle, obviously, were very impressive. And he's really, the first thing he's going to do, I think, is just try to change that culture, right? Bring in a culture of transparency, accountability. He's going to talk about hard work and compensating his employees for doing a good job. Because those are some of the things he talked about changing at Chipotle on his first earnings call there. So all that stuff's going to take a little bit of time, and because of his track record, he'll get a pretty long leash, I think.
What are the challenges facing this company? Because just as a consumer, I mean, the Starbucks on Route 35 in Wall Township, New Jersey, they do a great job. People are great. It just works like a charm. Store's in great shape. The one in Summit's good. It's always packed. What do they need to do here? I don't think anything's broken.
Well, it depends on the store. It sounds like that location is doing pretty well, but they have thousands and thousands of locations across the globe. I mean, in the U.S., operations is a big issue. Drink orders have become more complicated. Digital orders have kind of changed the experience for the in-cafe customer, right? Like it became popular because the baristas knew your name, right? And the level of service was phenomenal for a chain of that size, right? And through digital ordering and these very complicated orders, they've lost some of that, right? And so operations, they're losing a lot of orders because people are trying to place them on the app, and the wait times are kind of obnoxious at times, right? And so I think operations is going to be his primary focus. Running the best cafes possible is really going to be job number one. But there's a bunch of different issues. Operations is just one of them. Politics has been an issue, right? Starbucks has always been a brand that kind of puts their politics in your face, and I think Brian Niccol is going to want to step back from that, right? Because of all of all the issues they've had with their customer base, right? People haven't been happy with, there's been some boycott talks online about their stance on the Israel-Hamas war, about their stance and how they've handled the union negotiations, so that's a big thing. And then, we think eventually, once they have the stores running really, really well, they're going to start spending some more money on marketing. Maybe not a ton of money, but we would expect them to start spending on marketing. It's not something that Starbucks has traditionally done, but it also wasn't something that Chipotle had traditionally done, and it's been paying them dividends now for a handful of years.
So the thing with Chipotle, though, we just and maybe Paul can attest, is it like
fan.
There's a menu and it's basic, like there are add-ons,
Yep.
right? But like it's a basic menu. Starbucks menu is like explosive. Like they can't even have all the options up on the ordering board because there are just too many. So does working with operations and getting that better mean they have to pare back their menu and get back to their base?
Yeah, probably. We had been critical of the previous management team because they kept rolling out new menu platforms, and then in the next breath talking about improving throughput. But you can't have both. So we fully expect them to pare back this menu, make it easier to execute in the cafes, right? Make lives easier for their employees and get the orders out faster. So yeah, I think that's going to be a major part of what they do going forward.